now and think about July 5th and what happened on this day. As it relates to Clinton, we'll get to the Charlotte in a moment here. Donald Trump, meanwhile, making a stop in North Carolina. He will be in the same state later tonight. Trump will be in Raleigh. Hillary Clinton today is in Charlotte, where she and President Obama will take the stage any moment. Trump will appear later with Senator Bob Corker out of Tennessee. The Republican said to be on Trump's vice presidential shortlist. Meanwhile, we've heard from House Speaker Paul Ryan slamming the FBI decision today. And also, prior to that, slamming Trump's controversial tweet over the weekend, which some people considered anti-Semitic. It shows Hillary Clinton against the backdrop of money next to a six-sided star that reads, "Most corrupt candidate ever." Well, some pointed out it resembles the Star of David. Trump has said it could be a sheriff's badge or just a plain old star. Speaker Ryan today called the tweet, quote, ridiculous. He also said the Trump campaign has to clean up the way it uses social media. For news on all that, Carl Cameron is live in Raleigh today. And Carl, good day to you. Trump is going to be on stage a bit later tonight. Good afternoon.
Hiya, Bill. And you can expect Trump to continue his argument that the system is rigged and that the FBI directors made a mistake and that the FBI should recommend charges. Certainly that's the sentiment of most Republicans. Bob Corker, the senator from Tennessee, as part of the vice presidential list of names that he's got on a short list that sometimes appears to be quite long, will be introducing him tonight, and you can expect there to be additional rhetoric about that. There's no doubt that the Trump campaign and Republicans were eager to see Hillary Clinton indicted and thereby deemed sort of unfit for office, but don't think for a second that it's going to quell their criticism of her as a result of this. In addition to Corker's presence and what Trump will surely focus on tonight in his address here in Raleigh, North Carolina, tomorrow, Newt Gingrich will be joining Trump on the campaign trail. Former Speaker of the House has been said to be on the short list. He was asked by the Trump campaign to supply his IRS tax returns from years past and fill out a lengthy questionnaire. And historically, running mates have tended to be sort of the political partisan pit bulls. And Newt Gingrich is certainly a fire breather, so we can expect not only tonight with Bob Corker and from Trump, but tomorrow in Ohio. These are two incredibly important swing states, as you heard Jennifer Griffin saying. North Carolina was won by Mitt Romney in 2012, and a lot of political prognosticators think if he doesn't win here, he'll have a real hard time getting to the 270 electors necessary to win the election.
All right, Carl, thank you. Carl Cameron, Raleigh, North Carolina tonight. We'll watch for Donald Trump then. In the meantime, we're watching Hillary Clinton, the stage in Charlotte, North Carolina. That stage is set. She will speak first. The president will follow her, we are told. Each speech lasts about 15 minutes. What will they say, if anything, about what the FBI director revealed today?
On an airplane, right? And then the next thing you know, Comey's now saying that there'll be no charges brought. And now all of a sudden, right before Obama and Hillary are set to campaign together, there's no way this is a coincidence. This has been orchestrated for weeks. I think that the president
strong charge with the FBI involved.
Well,
continue.
Well, hold on a second. Here's what I think we're going to see, Bill. I think you're going to see more voices coming out of the FBI. They could be quiet voices, whistleblowers who say, if any other American had done what Director Comey said Hillary Clinton did, they'd be charged today. But it's, for some reason, because it's Hillary Clinton, she's allowed to just say, well, I shouldn't have done it, and it's okay. I don't think either you or I or any other American gets out of this if we're in this situation.
Well, yeah, that may be the case, but do you know on record that FBI agents disagree with this decision?
Nope. I'm saying we should watch and listen as the days in the days to come, because I think we're going to hear those voices. Look, the one thing that's been said over and over again, if Director Comey wasn't given the full latitude to conduct this investigation, he would have holy hell underneath him at the agency. And the question is this: do those agents feel like this investigation was free of politics? It doesn't look like it's free of politics. And if I'm Donald Trump, I'm talking about the fact that the timing of all these events stinks. It smells, and the American voter is not going to like it.
One major headline from that announcement today: 110 emails in 52 email chains discovered by the FBI contain classified information at the time of transmission. How many times has she said on camera that that was not the case?
How many times did she say under oath to Congress that that was not the case? Once again, if anyone else does that to Congress, or if anyone else says that over and over and over again, there are consequences. Why aren't there consequences with Hillary Clinton? By her own admission, Bill, she is now saying that she's made a mistake. That's the first time she's saying it so clearly. This is more than a mistake. The fact is that her servers were open to being hacked by our enemies. And the FBI director is saying, well, there's no evidence of it, but there's no evidence that it didn't happen. And as the nation's Secretary of State, that's incredibly troubling. She now wants to be our commander-in-chief. I think she has to overcome this hurdle of proving to the voters that she did nothing to harm our security,
Wow.
and I think the facts run contrary to that.
She put out a statement earlier today. How does she address this on stage now, Matt? Does she bring it up? Does she say, all right, we've heard from the FBI, and now I'm happy to say that this is now behind us forever?
I think she's going to try to say that. My guess is she does not bring this up today. That I shouldn't make that prediction because it's getting ready to start here. But I think Obama and Clinton will just talk about how they want to change the country. They're going to move beyond this. They're going to stop talking about it. She's going to try not to answer reporters' questions. I don't think she's going to get away with this. Once again, the timing of all this is not a consequence. And I think it stinks. It looks bad to the American voter. She's going to have to sit down and explain this. I think Loretta Lynch is going to have to explain this. I think Mr. Comey's going to have to explain this. I think he's done a lot to harm his reputation.
Wow. He did not take questions, as you know.
For the first time ever, he did not take questions. For the first time ever.
Rudy Giuliani was on Fox last hour, and he was speaking on The Real Story with Kimberly Guilfoyle. And he was making the point about how does the government bring charges against anyone, because the bar is so high. Now, we're not going to leave the rally, but just go ahead and listen to the former mayor make this point here about intent. Watch.
It does not require intent. It just requires gross negligence. He said during his long statement that she was extremely careless. The first definition of gross negligence that comes up if you take out the legal dictionary is being extremely careless.
You heard that, Matt?
Yeah, I just think, look, this is extremely clear to the American voter. She is saying herself she made a mistake. The fact that the FBI, even today when they acknowledge new transgressions, that there is absolutely no consequence to Hillary Clinton. None at all. She doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. It looks like some type of corrupt bargain. It's bad for the FBI, and I think there's a lot of explaining that needs to be done. They are not through this controversy, and if I were Donald Trump, I would fan the flames of this from today through November.
Well, he may, and we'll see what he says later tonight. We're going to drop in here in a moment when the comments become relevant to the headlines of the day. Matt, just hang with me a moment here. We
Sure.
probably get a number of thank yous and hellos. The Tar Heel State, as you know, is critical in November. It had gone Republican for, I believe it was 32 or 36 years, and Barack Obama flipped it in 2008. And you remember, Matt, how much of a blow that was to John McCain, and eventually Barack Obama rolled across the country electorally speaking. But Mitt Romney took it back in a hard-fought race 4 years later. So now, yet again, we look at North Carolina as a battleground state, Matt, don't we?
Absolutely. Look, Donald Trump's not going to be president unless he carries North Carolina. And I think it's one of those states that Hillary thinks she can flip. Large African American support in the state, that, the research corridor with all those academics. I think she thinks that this is ripe for the picking, and this is the battleground of battlegrounds.
Oftentimes we talk about Ohio in those terms, Matt. No Republican wins the White House and winning Ohio, but you make a relevant point here about North Carolina.
Well, we have to win Ohio too, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
We have to win all these tough states.
The math has got to add up. Let me just drop in here for a moment, make sure that we're not missing anything that's germane to our discussion.
As a colleague in the Senate, as an opponent in a hard-fought primary, and the president I was so proud to serve as Secretary of State. But I've also known him as the friend that I was honored to stand with in the good times and the hard times. Someone who has never forgotten where he came from. And Donald, if you're out there tweeting, it's Hawaii.